Bharat. I am interning under Mohammad Khan in Competitive Intelligence Service Provider team for summer 2018. And in this video, I am going to demonstrate the demo regarding the automation. I have gone through several frameworks of the Junos automation, and now I am exploring Ansible, and I will give you the demo implementing Ansible modules not only on the Junos operating system but also on other competitive platforms including Cisco as well as Arista. So let's get started. Uh, I have a virtual box in which my operating system is my Linux, and I have let me show you. I have completed 3 GitHub projects. This is a GitHub project which I have completed on Junos, and I have then completed another project on Cisco, and then I have completed another GitHub third project on Arista. So I will give you a short demo executing some of the Ansible playbooks and playing with the devices in order to get their configurations or maybe run or change some configurations. So let's get started with the Junos. So I have a directory Aja on my laptop, and as you can see, I have already made so many YAML files in order to run and to execute the playbook. So basically, in order to run the playbook, we need 2 more files apart from the YAML file. The first one is this file, which is inventory file, in which contains all the information regarding the routers. So as you can see in my inventory file, we have 3 physical routers and the 2 virtual routers. Apart from the inventory file, we also have ansible.cfg file. In this you can see we have couple of commands like which is indicating that whenever we will run the Ansible, so it has to see the inventory and its contents in order to execute the playbook on all those devices which will be defined in the inventory. And apart from that, there is a log file. So whenever we will run the playbook, the logs will also be get saved so that it can help us in future for debugging and other skills. So let's get started. I will show you the first playbook when I will run and its results. So as you can see on our GitHub project, I have completed all these 14 chapters implementing. These are actually all the chapters of the day 1 cookbook of implementing Ansible with the Junos. So I started with chapter 4. So it was basically to reduce the uptime of the router. So let's execute this playbook. So let's run this YAML file. So the command is sudo ansible playbook uptime 2.yaml. Sudo is asking our sudo password, so that is of my local server password, which I will enter, and then it's trying. Yeah, now it's again asking for the username and password. This will be obviously for the devices. So right now I am going to use the username and password of our physical routers, which is in our CI lab, which are 2MX 104 and 1MX 240. Here we go. And as you can see now, a YAML file is trying to run the Ansible core module. And once this module will be run on our local server, it will establish a connection with the router through SSH or netconfig. As you can see, I haven't provided the credentials for the virtual routers defined in the inventory, so it's not able to establish the connection with the virtual routers, but it was successfully able to establish the SSH connection. And as you can see, after running the Junos RPC Python module on our local server, which is Linux, we are able to extract the uptime information in the form of XML. Alright, let's try to play another playbook. For instance, we can play the like yeah let's do and derive the device facts of the routers by running the playbook get device facts. So get get device facts dot yaml. Here we go. It will I think again ask for the credentials. No, it must be defined already in the YAML book. So yeah, it's going to run, and the same scenario, it won't be able to communicate with the virtual devices, but it would be able to communicate because in a YAML file we have provided the credentials for the physical routers. So most probably it will try to extract the all the device facts of our physical routers, and as you can see we are already getting okay. So yeah, the physical routers or the information has been extracted through this ansible playbook, but as you can see it didn't show the device facts, right? That's because I didn't enter this command. Now it will show you each and every device fact which will be extracted from the physical router after establishing the connection. Yeah, like now you can see these are all the device facts which we extracted from this by executing an Ansible playbook which was get device facts, and we are running Ansible roles, and as you can see the Python module which we are trying to use is Junos get config, and as you can see the virtual routers again we were not able to establish a connection because of the invalid credentials, but yeah we have so far successful to get the device facts from our physical devices. And now let us try and to show let me try to show you another playbook through which we can get the configuration of our routers, and we can even store the config files by running just a simple playbook which is get config. So sudo ansible playbook get config 2.yaml. Alright, so we are running the get config YAML file in order to save the configurations of all the configurations which are installed on the Junos devices, so that we can keep and track a record of all the configurations which are already stored in the devices currently. So yeah, these scripts can be run on day-to-day basis in order to track the information of all our network topology or whatever is the requirement. So now if I go to my backups directory, over here you can see all the three routers configuration file have already been saved, so we can even monitor the configuration of suppose router 1. So you can see all the protocols and all the configurations which are and the protocols which is saved in this router, right? Yeah, that. So yeah, apart from deducing the information from the routers, we can also install new configurations onto the devices. So let's get started. Let's try. Let me show you to run and try to install a new configuration on the Junos device. This time we will try to execute uh, yeah, we will try to execute the YAML. Okay, first of all we need to get out of this directory, and then we will try to execute another playbook whose motive is to install the configuration on the Junos device. So we will run this playbook and we will try to install, and this time as we will try to install this configuration on the virtual devices. So base settings 1.1. All right, and now if it will ask me for the credentials, I will try. Yeah, I will put the credentials of the virtual devices because I want this time to run my configuration and install new configuration. As you can see, it's creating the config file in the directory, and then it will install that configuration. As you can see, the physical routers were not able to change their configuration, but we were finally able to change the configuration of virtual devices, and the playbook is executing. And yes, the playbook has succeeded in our virtual devices. So yeah, this was the demo for the Junos. All right, let me show you now the Cisco GitHub project which I have done with the Ansible. So here we go. Yeah, these are the all the files and the playbooks which I have created. So first of all, let me show you what do we have, like maybe 3 or 4 routers. Yeah, we have 4 routers which are NCS 5501, NCS 5508, and we have 2 more routers. One is this ASR 9K, and the fourth router, I think we need to establish an SSH connection with the fourth router, which we won't be doing in this case. So let us delete the fourth router IP, because or else we would need to uh, establish the protocol net config and SSH, because this fourth router is NCS 6008. So we don't need to install or run our playbooks on this because the net config protocol is not enabled. So here we go. We will try to run the playbooks on these 3 devices. Okay, let me show you what okay, let's try to play the playbook telnet. So just in order to, like, we need to see whether the telnet, we will run this telnet playbook to see whether the telnet protocol is configured on the Cisco devices or not. So I'm running. Yeah, so I'm going to run this device, this telnet playbook on my all of my Cisco devices, and we will see whether the telnet is enabled on our devices or not. As you can see, the playbook is still in processing, and it will soon be executed. And as you can see, now we are able to the gather facts is the module. And let me tell you, all of these Cisco devices are running the operating system iOS XR. So obviously the Ansible modules which we are trying to run on a local server will also be of iOS. So in this module we are using gather facts telnet check, and as you can see, the task is debugging and still in progress. Yes, that the playbook is successful, and yes, it means our playbook is reachable to all of the devices. So yes, the telnet is configured on all of the routers. Okay, let's try to make another playbook run on a local server. For instance, okay, we can try running get inventory. We can try running this playbook in order to see the inventory information of all of our Cisco routers. So let's see if we can get through this playbook and try to extract the inventory information from our Cisco routers. And the playbook is still in progress. Yes. Now it's finally sending the show inventory command after establishing the connection with the and net config connection with the device. As you can see, two of the routers have already uh, set up the connection with my server. Okay, the third one was not able to connect. Yeah, it might get connected in this next time. Yeah, because I know that all of the routers have the same credentials. So as you can see, we were able to device anyway we were able to extract the inventory information. As you can scroll down and see, yeah, this is all the inventory information which I have extracted from my Cisco routers. And we can also install and change the configuration of our routers. For instance, let me run another playbook which is banner and show you how we can even install new configuration through my ansible playbook uh, on multiple devices simultaneously. For instance, I will play this banner playbook.yaml in order to show you how that not only we can extract the information, but we can also install the information, install the new configuration on our devices. And here we go. The playbook is still in progress, and very shortly we would be able to see that how we can execute the configuration by Ansible and change the configuration of our devices. As you can see, it's now that it's executing the task of creating the new banner on the device, on the Cisco device, which is having an operating system of iOS XR. And then yeah, it's as you can see, it's already changed the configuration on all the three routers, and now it's going to install and run the new configuration by pushing to the device through netconfig over SSH. As you can see, yeah, so now it's trying to build the configuration on the devices. Yeah, so in this way we can also change the configuration and install new configuration. Okay, that this was the implementation of the Ansible on the Cisco. And now let me show you some implementation of Ansible also on the Arista devices, because I have done another GitHub project with Arista as well in order to run some playbooks on EOS operating system. So let's get into the Arista project. EOS quick start. Yeah. this was my directory, and yeah, these are all of my yeah. Let me tell you, this Arista project I have deployed through Docker. So the inventory file and the configuration file will be created virtually the very instant when I will try to execute the Ansible playbook. The very same time it will execute the inventory, and it will ask me the credentials of which Arista switch I want to connect and build a new configuration. So basically, let me show you how we can create a new configuration on Arista switch. Sudo ansible playbook. Okay, sudo ansible playbook. Then yeah, we will run settings, because first we need to uh, create. Okay, we haven't, I'm so sorry, we haven't specified our inventory in my command, so that's why it's not allowing me to set up the connection with the device. And now I hope, yeah, it will execute the configuration. First it will create setup e dot yaml. Yeah, so now as I told you that this is built through Docker, so it will virtually create the inventory and the configuration file in order to run my playbook. So it's asking me the IP, so I will enter the IP of 1092.71.253 of my Arista switch, and now it will ask me which connection. So obviously I would like to establish my session with the SSH, and then it will ask me the username, which is admin, and then the password of my Arista switch, and then enable. Yes, we want to enable, to go to the privilege mode, and then finally to the configure mode to establish new configuration. So as you can see, now it has generated our host file and the group variable file, which will finally be used. Yes, which will be fine. Now we will use this file which we have created through Docker virtually, and these will be used in order to establish a new configuration. So yeah, let's play this. Okay, I'm sorry, I haven't entered the host information again. So let's run this playbook and show you how we can build a new configuration on the Arista switch. Here we go. So now it showed the error, yeah, because the syntax of my command was, I put one extra space, I guess. Yes, now it should work, and install the configuration successfully on the device, because yeah. So this is how we can use Ansible not only for the Junos but also for the Cisco iOS XR, and finally also for the Arista EOS. So these were basically the very basic playbooks. Yeah, and as you can see, it has built the configuration, and the file was the execution of the playbook was successful. If you want, we can see in detail what configuration the playbook tried to implement on our Arista switch. So yeah, this was basically the demo in order to show you guys how like Ansible is getting day and day more powerful, and it can be used for the provisioning and the network management of all the network devices, whether they are physical devices or the virtual devices. As you can see now, it has changed the configuration on a Arista switch. So yeah, so this was the demos in order to show, and now Ansible is day by day getting more uh, used by people and getting more and more popular, and it will soon be used also at the orchestration level in order to deploy configurations in future, even in the multi cloud environment. So yeah, that was the demo for the Ansible and all these three GitHub projects which I did with Ansible. Thank you very much.